What's going on, guys? It's your boy, man. I'm just in here checking in, man. I haven't dropped a video in a couple days, so I want to come over here and just give y'all an update about what's going on. Just trying to make a video real quick before I head into work for the day. So lately, man, I've been busy doing a lot of pop-ups. I haven't been able to do like an actual video. And pop-ups are cool. You know, I think the thing about pop-ups is they're so inconsistent sometimes that you just don't know. So I've done maybe about probably 4 or 5 this month. And they hit or miss. You know, even with the holidays, I was expecting to do a little more. But it didn't necessarily go the way that I was thinking or the way that I hoped. So if anybody is a candle maker, any type of crafts maker, you know, when you're doing pop-ups, make sure, one, to do your research. Location is everything. So finding a location that you know is going to do well. Obviously, you can have a location that you know is going to do well, and then, you know, any kind of event can kind of throw it away. Also, remember that price doesn't guarantee success either. So, like, I've actually made more money on a pop-up that I didn't do, that I didn't pay for, than when I did. So I did one in, when I did pay for it was less. So I did one in October, and I'm gonna give you the numbers. I did one in October. I think I made like $600, and that was a 2-day event. It was $75 a piece. I mean, $75 for 2 days, which is really like 30-something bucks a day, which isn't bad. And then I did like some recently that was like $60 a piece, but I made like $200. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like prices and everything. I did one that I did for free. All I had to do was give them a candle, and I made like $400 that day. So like I said, prices and everything, when looking at price is a lot of it. Price isn't everything. So just because you're paying more for a pop-up doesn't mean that you're gonna get, you know, a better experience. Doesn't mean that you're gonna make more money. You know, I would say find also places where, you know, you could do the pop-up and they're not gonna charge you. So like you could do like schools. Like at my other job where I used to work before, I would do them for like my staff, and I think I made like $1,000 in like a weekend. You know what I mean? Like, so it's very much doable. I had to hustle a little bit, but I was doing that, and I was on the clock low key at the same time. So you know, just find ways like that. Find things that you could be a part of. Churches, gatherings, community gatherings, community events. You know, maybe they might have like a Christmas event, or, you know, 4th of July event, or back to school, or, you know what I'm saying? So find schools, nonprofits, find, you know, they're doing events all the time that they might not charge for. Get into that. Maybe your job might be doing this Christmas party. Like, hey, I do candles. Can I set up my candles at your Christmas party? You know, things like that. That helps. You know what I'm saying? You don't always need to pay for a pop-up, because sometimes with the pop-ups, sometimes they're expecting you to bring traffic. You know what I mean? Sometimes they might have their own traffic, but sometimes they're not. So, you know, make sure when you're doing pop-ups, do your research. Maybe go to the place before you actually book, just to kind of see what kind of traffic they have before you shell out $50, $100, $60. You know what I mean? And then also, depending on what your product is, that should determine what your price point is. Like for me, I probably wouldn't pay more, for me personally, because of how much I make. I probably wouldn't pay more than like $30, $40, because I'm trying to maximize what I have. You know, so at this point in time, unless it's like a multi-day event, I'm not paying $100 or $200 for events. I don't see it, because a lot of times they have multiple vendors that do the same thing you do. Also, you got to price in how much your product is. You know what I mean? Sometimes with these markets and stuff, cheaper prices, I'm not gonna say they went out, but sometimes people like to go different places and they buy, you know, cheaper prices. And you can ask whoever your market vendor is about that too. You know, you can ask them like, hey, and sometimes they will ask you like, how much is your product, because you don't want to price yourself outside of whatever, you know, the usual range is. Like, I think my candles, the most I might do is like $35. Even though I probably should charge more for my candles because of the kind of wax they are and the vessels they are. I know there's some pop-ups I might not get more than that. Now, when I do online sales or different things like that, people will, you know, they'll support, and I'm trying to build that out more on social media. And y'all can follow me at As I Am Candle Co. But yeah, make sure you do your research. Try to go to the event before, you know, see, you know, what other candle makers or other crafts makers or whatever it is you do, see what they're doing, see what the traffic looks like. Holidays are good, but also know that everybody has something going on the holidays. So I know for me, I did, like I said, 4 or 5 this last month, all Christmas ones. And this is probably, I'm not gonna say, it's been a slower pop-up month for me. You know what I mean? Which is why I'm working and back at work and stuff like that. But yeah, just do your research when it comes to that. Yeah, yeah, so that's about pop-ups. I'm trying to think if I need something else. Yeah, location is everything, pricing is everything. Make sure that you do your research on what your market needs. Make sure your table doesn't have to be the greatest thing. You know, if you've seen my videos before, I've dropped other videos with my the way my tables and stuff look. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. Just make sure, you know, you show up and it looks decent. You know what I mean? People support sometimes just because they want to support people that look like you. Sometimes they just like the product that you're selling. They just want to try new things. So don't think too much about that, you know? That's another thing. And I think for me coming up this year, as far as candles, I am planning to like expand some stuff. Like I want to get into more, like I said before, maybe like sprays, like colognes, perfumes, body butters, not body butters, but like the wax to oils. And then I think another thing I want to try this year, wax to oils, colognes and sprays, and then probably like do wax melts. I think I want to add a couple of those things just so I could be able to bundle and give people more alternatives. And when they're looking for, you know, different supplies and different things like that, different candle needs. So don't be afraid to expand. Don't wait for the perfect time. Just kind of try it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm really trying a lot of things. I make this talking head video or this vlog style video because I like to talk to y'all. Plus the lighting was good. You see that light though. And, you know, I didn't really have time to make a actual video. So I kind of just wanted to show up and still be able to give you guys some game, give you guys some updates on what's going on with me, where I'm at. And if y'all have any questions or comments in the, you know, ask away. I'm still using coconut wax. I'm still using my, you know, I was doing like a crackling booster wick. I think I'm changing more to the ultimate wick. I like the way that it burns a little better. And it still crackles. It's just not as loud as the other one. So any questions that y'all have, just drop them in the comment. Anyway, y'all have a great day, man. This is about the pop-ups. And you know, like I said, research. Location is important. And pricing doesn't always dictate how much you're going to make. And sometimes they're inconsistent. So have other things that you need to, you know, do. But till the next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.